The airport buzzes with travelers. A symphony of distant announcements and hurried footsteps fills the air. At Carousel 7, Eleanor Brooks waits, her gaze steady amidst the chaotic swirl of luggage. Her posture is composed, betraying years of experience. Yet, faint lines of weariness are etched around her eyes, telling tales of untold journeys. Each rotation of the carousel brings a flicker of anticipation, quickly replaced by patient resignation. Eleanor remains a solitary figure, a quiet observer in the grand theater of arrivals and departures. Inside the bustling airport, Eleanor's face is etched with a sigh, a silent story of burdens carried. She clutches a plain black suitcase, its anonymity reflecting her own desire to disappear. Each step she takes seems heavy, laden with unspoken emotions and unresolved pasts. The suitcase, her sole companion, echoes the weight of decisions made and paths diverged. With a final, resolute breath, Eleanor strides forward, leaving the airport behind. The doors slide open, releasing her into a world where she hopes to find a new beginning. Eleanor idly drums her fingers on the steering wheel, her face reflecting impatience as she waits for the light to change. Her gaze drifts towards the back seat, where a mysterious suitcase sits, bathed in the warm daylight. Eleanor's eyes narrow as she spots a luggage tag, a nagging sense of unease settling in. The luggage tag is in sharp focus, a clear sign that the suitcase definitely does not belong to her. A growing sense of intrigue mixes with apprehension on Eleanor's face as she contemplates the bag. Eleanor pulls her car to the roadside, the engine ticking softly as the world rushes by. She hefts open the trunk, revealing a suitcase nestled among the luggage. Inside the suitcase, neatly folded shirts rest beside a cold, sterile stethoscope. A splash of color amidst the order. A child's drawing. A poignant reminder. Eleanor stares into the open suitcase, a storm of memories swirling in her eyes. Her face flickers with a myriad of emotions, hinting at unspoken stories and buried conflicts. Eleanor drives, sun blazing, wind whipping through her hair. Her phone rings. An unknown number flashes on the screen. A moment of hesitation flickers across her face. The endless road stretches out before her. The jarring ring of her phone cuts through the silence of the car, startling Eleanor, her eyes widening with a mix of surprise and apprehension. With a hesitant hand, Eleanor answers, her voice tinged with uncertainty as she anticipates the unknown. Adrian's voice fills the car. "Hello, Eleanor. This is Adrian. Mixed up at the airport." "Oh, I did notice the suitcase wasn't mine. What do we do?" Eleanor responds, concern etched on her face. Rain begins its mournful song against the windows of the Rusted Spoon, blurring the world outside. The cafe's warm glow spills onto the wet pavement, a beacon in the gray afternoon. Each drop traces a fleeting path, a transient dance on the glass. The Rusted Spoon, a refuge from the relentless rain. The rhythm of rain provides a constant, melancholic soundtrack to the day. The aroma of coffee fills the bustling cafe as Eleanor steps inside, her senses alive with anticipation. Her eyes scan the lively scene, a determined glint in her eyes. Across the room, Dr. Adrian Cole sits alone, waiting patiently at a corner table. Eleanor strides purposefully towards him, her footsteps echoing softly on the tiled floor. A silent acknowledgement passes between them, a brief but significant moment of connection. They exchange briefcases, the weight of secrets shifting between their hands. Amidst the cafe's hustle, Eleanor nervously fidgets with her coffee cup, her eyes darting anxiously. A subtle tremor betrays her inner turmoil as she steels herself to speak. Her gaze locks onto Adrian, a mix of apprehension and determination in her eyes. She asks, her voice barely a whisper, I saw a drawing in your bag the other day. A rocket? What's that about?" Eleanor's question hangs in the air, awaiting Adrian's response. Warm light bathes Adrian's face as he sits in the cafe, a cherished drawing held gently in his hands. The simple sketch, a child's creation, speaks volumes of love and memory. "Ava drew this for me," he says, a hint of pride and sorrow mingling in his voice. A shadow crosses his face as he adds, "It was, when my wife was still alive." His gaze softens, reflecting a profound loss. She passed away last year. A quiet admission hangs in the air. Ava lives with her grandparents now. Sunlight floods the cafe, highlighting the aroma of coffee as Eleanor leans forward, her face a mask of concern. Adrian stares into his coffee, shoulders slumped, lost in thought. Eleanor says softly, "I'm so sorry, Adrian. It must be incredibly difficult." Adrian murmurs, "I've forgotten how to live outside the hospital. I'm a ghost." Sunlight fills the bustling cafe, highlighting Eleanor as she sits with a half-empty coffee, her gaze fixed on her hands. The sounds of the cafe fade as Eleanor reflects on her past choices, a hint of regret in her eyes. "I was in finance, always prioritized work," she admits, her voice barely audible above the cafe's murmur. "Over everything, even my relationship with my daughter," Eleanor confesses, the weight of her words hanging in the air. Steam curls from Adrian's coffee as he leans in, lost in thought. He gestures, a subtle suggestion hanging in the air. His dark eyes reflect the gravity of his words. "Maybe the wrong suitcase wasn't wrong at all," Adrian says. The cafe's ambiance fades as his words echo. A new possibility dawns in the dimly lit cafe. Adrian digs into his bag, his movements heavy with unspoken memories. He pulls out a faded photo, a ghost from a happier past. His late wife smiles back at him, standing beside Ava, frozen in time. A message on the back whispers a haunting plea. "Come back to life, Adrian." For her, sunlight floods the bustling cafe, illuminating dust motes in the air. The aroma of coffee hangs heavy. Eleanor leans forward, her expression earnest, a beacon of hope in the crowded space. Adrian sits opposite her, shoulders slumped, lost in the depths of his half-empty mug. His gaze is distant, reflecting a profound sorrow that seems to weigh him down. Eleanor's voice cuts through the cafe's murmur. "Adrian, you need to honor her memory, and the best way to do that is to try to live again," she urges, her eyes filled with compassion. In the bustling cafe, Adrian's intense gaze meets Eleanor's across the small table. The cafe's clatter fades as Adrian leans in, hope flickering in his eyes. A hopeful expression dances on Adrian's face as he speaks. Adrian's voice cuts through the noise, a gentle invitation in his tone. "Would you meet me again tomorrow?" Adrian asks, his eyes searching hers for an answer. Adrian adds, "I'm visiting some children at the hospital," his voice full of warmth. Sunlight floods the sterile hospital room, highlighting Eleanor's pale face as she enters, a picture of forced calm. Anxiety flickers in Eleanor's eyes, betraying her composed exterior as she navigates the cold, clinical space. Eleanor clutches her worn handbag tightly, her knuckles white against the aged leather, a silent plea for strength. The sterile environment amplifies the tension, each ray of sunlight a stark reminder of the gravity of her visit. Adrian enters the sterile hospital room, his large box of toys a stark contrast to the somber setting. Sorrow lines Adrian's face, a visible weight in his eyes as he steps further into the room. Eleanor watches Adrian, her expression softening as she observes him. Beneath the grief, Eleanor sees a glimpse of kindness and gentleness in Adrian's weary features. The toys in Adrian's hands seem to promise comfort, a small beacon of light in the sterile environment. Adrian clutches the box tighter, his sorrow momentarily overshadowed by a quiet resolve. Laughter echoes in the bright children's ward as Eleanor and Adrian enter, their footsteps soft against the linoleum floor. Sunlight streams through the windows, casting a warm glow on the playful chaos of toys and colorful drawings. Adrian's eyes are drawn to a young boy sitting alone, a faded rocket clutched in his small hands. He kneels beside the child, his gentle smile a beacon of hope in the sterile environment. Adrian begins to speak, his words painting vivid pictures of soaring rockets and distant stars. The boy's face lights up with wonder, the rocket now a symbol of dreams taking flight. Eleanor and Adrian sit in the tranquil hospital courtyard, sunlight filtering through the canopy above. Dancing shadows play across the paving stones, a gentle ballet of light and shade. Eleanor turns to Adrian, a soft smile gracing her lips as she speaks sincerely. "You're so good with the children, Adrian," Eleanor says, her voice filled with warmth and admiration. Autumn leaves swirl around Eleanor as she sits on a park bench in the hospital courtyard, a picture of quiet contemplation. With trembling fingers, she opens a wrinkled envelope, its creases telling a story of time and distance. Her gaze softens as she unfolds the letter, a flicker of bittersweet longing in her eyes. A voice echoes in her mind, filled with longing. "Mom, I wish you'd visit. I miss you." Eleanor closes her eyes, a tear escaping as the weight of unspoken words settles upon her. In the hospital courtyard, Adrian turns towards the building, his eyes filled with a silent, hopeful encouragement. His gesture invites Eleanor to step inside, to face what awaits her within those walls. A silent plea hangs in the air, urging her towards a reunion with her daughter. The courtyard is still, expectant, as Eleanor considers the weight of Adrian's unspoken words. Adrian's hopeful expression does not waver, a beacon in the tense atmosphere. The hospital looms, a silent challenge and promise of resolution. In the sterile hospital courtyard, Eleanor's firm stance mirrors the weight of unspoken anxieties. The soft rustle of leaves contrasts with the steel in Eleanor's eyes as she faces Adrian. "I will only go if you promise to visit Ava," Eleanor demands, her voice unwavering. Adrian's solemn agreement hangs in the air. It's a deal. A fragile pact is sealed amidst the clinical backdrop, hope and worry intertwined. On a bustling train platform, Eleanor and Adrian stand out amidst hurried travelers, their figures poised with unspoken emotions. Eleanor's bittersweet smile hints at the impending departure for Brighton, a journey into the unknown. Adrian, equally composed, prepares for his own journey to Edinburgh, a parallel path diverging into the distance. The rhythmic chugging of trains underscores the anticipation of separate lives unfolding. A week has passed, and the air hangs heavy with the weight of unspoken farewells and uncertain futures. Their poised stances betray a complex mix of longing and acceptance as they face their diverging paths. Sunlight floods the train platform as they stand, excitement mingling with a hint of trepidation in their eyes. Steam hisses from the train, a metallic farewell punctuating the air between them as Eleanor's smile softens. Eleanor's gaze turns distant, lost in thought as she reflects on their improbable beginning. "I still can't believe a mixed-up suitcase brought us here," she says, a smile playing on her lips. Their eyes meet, a silent acknowledgement of the serendipitous mistake that intertwined their destinies. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who might need a reminder that it's never too late to begin again. Subscribe to Mystic Moonlight Tales for more stories that remind us sometimes the smallest mistakes lead to life's biggest miracles.